Or 6 o'clock p.m. We are currently in the middle of a heat wave. I have 7 children in my household, me and my pregnant wife, and to tell the Dominion Energy Company to remove my electricity meter. So my air condition is no longer working. It's not about paperwork. You have violated almost every law possible. You turned off power to a house with 7 children in it. And you're gonna stand there. You just disconnected power from a house. Yes, you wanted to come in my house to take a look at my house. And then you turned off my power. You've been here for 2 hours. Show me any evidence of a leak. Show me evidence of a leak. So now they have the people here. Even though there is no issue with my water, I am in good standing. All of my bills are paid. They are turning off my power and my water. I have 7 children in my house, my pregnant wife and myself. So why are you turning off my water? I need a word, gentlemen, because you could talk a minute ago. And this stayed very, very private. But now that we're public, we're going live. You guys have an opportunity to tell the world what makes good sense in the middle of a heat wave to disconnect the power to somebody's house. What's the reason for it? Like, tell me what's the imminent danger? Who's in danger? Who's being harmed? Because I can tell you right now, telling 7 children, he's got plenty of space. He's got plenty of space. You're Tommen right now. Tell me, I know my children in this house with no air conditioning and no water are in imminent danger. And you just did that. You willfully just turned off my water and my electricity. You did that. And you know you're putting children in jeopardy.
It's not running? So they run, no water going into the house.
That was 62. We'll check the 64. There's not going in 64 either.
You turned off the water and the power on my house, and you don't have any justifiable reason to do so. You're placing the lives of children and pregnant women in danger. For what, gentlemen? For what, gentlemen? You've been here since 6. You were really prepared to talk to me earlier. But now that you've taken this action, I would just like you to talk to me the same way. Why are we turning off the power? Why are we turning off the water? Why are we turning off the water and power in the house?
Sir, we're still investigating what happened.
How can you be investigating when you're terminating services? I have 7 children in there. I have a pregnant wife. You escorted Dominion Energy onto my property and removed my meter. I am in good standing. You removed my meter. You've terminated my water service. I have children because I wouldn't let you in for a leak. What does that have to do? Did the homeowner tell you to terminate it? Because I can contact the homeowner, and I know he hasn't told you to terminate services. No, don't tell me what I might do. Tell me what you did, and under whose authority you had the right to do it. You turned off water and power to 7 children, a pregnant woman, and her husband in the middle of a heat wave.
Because of a neighbor's complaint.
Because somebody says they have a water leak and I wouldn't let you in my house. Please tell me what was the thought process behind it. Because you're very, very adamant about being right now. I don't need the paperwork, I need an explanation. I can't read, so I need you to read the paperwork for me. I can't read. What does the paperwork say? You've come out and you've turned off power. You've disconnected power and water to a house with 7 children, and a pregnant woman in it.
You need somewhere else to go?
No, I need my power and water back on because there's no reason for it to be off. Give me a justifiable reason for why my power and water is off. This should be good. Take your time. I'm waiting. You don't have one. Because if you had an articulable reason for why power and water to be off, you would share it. No, it's not the paperwork. It needs to be sensible. It needs to be sensible.
We've been here since when?
Since 6 o'clock. You've been here now going on 2 hours.
Investigating. What was the investigation about?
But you turned my services off, and that's not about the investigation. Tell me, what was the investigation about?
You tell me, because we spoke.
No, you're here. You're law enforcement. You got the paperwork.
Get back on the property.
You're here. You're law enforcement. You have the.
Back off.
I'm on public property, and you have plenty of room. You have plenty of space. You have a whole arm's distance.
What was the purpose? Because when you guys knocked, the purpose was because of the leak.
So why is my water off?
Like
I
that
want
was
you to give your audience what was happening before you start recording.
Hey guys, so here's what happened. My neighbor right here had a leak in his basement. He couldn't figure out where it came from. So he called police this morning. He called police again, and now we have police here. And the police say, "Hey guys, we're going to investigate. Hey guys, we want to investigate. Can we come into your house?" So the first thing they said is, "Hey man, you know what? We think there might be imminent danger in an electrical issue." They didn't find that. So now they've turned off my water. They turned off my electricity, but the person who has the leak has power and water. The person who has the leak has both power and water turned on. What type of sense does that make? They're gonna leave you by yourself. Let's go talk to the people over here. Let's talk over here. What's the reason? You articulate the reason. He has a leak. He said he thought the leak was coming from my property. I said it was not. I said it was not coming. You have not verified a leak in my property. No one has. No one has verified a leak. And even with turning the water and the electricity off, if you still have a leak in his property, that means it's clear it's not coming from mine.
We've been allowed to perform the investigation in his property and have determined that the water is not coming from his house.
Right. So why? You haven't determined that it's coming from mine either. You are trying to use proximity, and that does not stand up. I have 7 children. This is what we're saying right now. I have 7 children, a pregnant wife. You haven't determined anything. There is a course of action, and the county sets it forth. You're allowed to bring out a water inspector to take a look. That's who can enter the property. And I told you and main man here who keeps trying to speak up that I was okay with a water inspector entering my property to see if there was a leak. But because it's freaking Monday and they're closed and you couldn't get a hold of one, you called Dominion Energy and Water to turn my services off. That is malicious. You have put children in danger.
It's absolutely not malicious.
It is.
Within our
It is.
right in the fire code
So,
to terminate power if there is a perceived hazard.
right, what's the perceived hazard?
Because we don't know where this water is coming from.
What is the perceived hazard?
There is a perceived electrical hazard because
Right.
of the water infiltration.
Right. So water infiltration is a perceived electrical hazard. And you verified that there's water that is impacting the electrical in his house.
You have denied
Because you
the
just
entry.
no. Here's the thing. You said that water and electric is the hazard. So unless you can identify that in his house there is water and electric that is coming into contact with one another, there is no hazard. You are making it up. You have water. You don't have electric. That's like trying to say that you can attach somebody. Right now, I'm counsel. Right now, you're proceeding with actions that are putting children in danger. The temperature at night stays above 80 degrees. We're in the middle of a heat wave. There are children in this house that are registered to this county school system, and they know they're here. There's a pregnant woman in this house, and you get the right to proceed with your investigation, but you also get the right to make a judgment call. And your judgment call is, because we think the leak's coming from you, we're going to turn your power and electricity off and screw your children. That's what, I'm telling you, it's what you're choosing right now. Because you could choose right now the same way you called them to turn it off, you could call them to turn it back on. You called them to turn it off, you could call them to turn it back on. Hey guys, there is extenuating circumstances. There's a concern children may be harmed from this act. We've terminated water and we've terminated electricity. These children will be inside of a house that has no way of cooling. The temperature stays in the 80s overnight. It gets in the hundreds during the day. But it's per our investigation, we're going to put these children in harm's way. This is a judgment call. That's not a warrant. That's not a course of action stated by a judge. This is a decision that you three gentlemen has made, along with everyone else here, to turn off the services.
Are you the property owner?
You turned off the services.
Are you the property owner?
You turned off the services.
Are you the property owner?
Why are the services off? The services are in my name. The water is in my name. The electricity is in my name. I know who the property owner is. I'm in contact with the property owner. And so now here's the thing. Get the property owner here and tell him that you said turn it off.
I'll give him a phone call. Call him.
Don't worry about it. You don't have to. Me and Cameron on first name basis. We went to the same freaking home trade show and flipping together. So you're not surprising me with anything. I know who the owner of my property is. And we're in conversations about the things that are concerned with the property. The question is right now is why do you have the utilities turned off and there is no one from ownership or legal. There's no one from ownership or legal who, well, here's the question though. Why did you turn the utilities off?
Are you the property?
Why did you turn the utilities off?
Are you a contractor?
Why did you turn the utilities off? You don't have to be. You don't have to. Legally, not being allowed to investigate does not give you the right to terminate services and put lives at risk. Everyone who's residing in that property is doing so legally.
What about everyone else on this block?
What about everyone else on this block? Everyone else in this block has power and water. Their children have power and water. He has power and water. I pay for power and water. It is in my name. It is under my social security number. This is my address. So the question right now is, how are you going to make a judgment call? You know what, guys? I think off of judgment, I'm going to terminate the power and electricity. We don't have a justifiable reason. This is nonsense. This is nonsense. Show me active water. Show me active water. That previously, there's no active water now. There's no active water now. There was water, but there was no verification that it came from my place. In his side of the house. In his side of the house. So let's go inside and take a look, see if it's still running. Let's go inside. I'm going to go knock on the door and see if it's still running. Let me go talk to him. There's nothing wrong with my meter. There's nothing wrong with my services. There's nothing wrong with the way I got them hooked up. I did it legally. Everything is above board. You can talk about the owner. You can talk about the HOA. You can talk about whatever you want. You have chosen to put children in danger. Over a leak. You did this over a leak. Because Abdul complained about a leak. No legal reason to proceed. And now you want to put it under an investigation. Oh, we're investigating. Investigating what? What are we investigating? What are we trying to find, gentlemen?
I understand you're frustrated, sir.
I'm beyond frustrated. My children are at risk, man. It is hot here. And you just had someone turn off my power in the middle of a heat wave. You turned off my water in the middle of a heat wave. I have food in there.
Maybe talk it through.
Put the phone away and talk through what? The conversation doesn't change. Whether I put the phone away or not, this should not have happened. Whether I allowed you in my house or not, this should not have happened. This is malicious. This isn't about trying to resolve the issue, because I told you perfectly, you have a freaking meter reader. You have someone from the water department. You have someone from the water department. You have someone from the water department who is here. And had he said, hey, can I get access to see if there's a leak, I would have granted him access. And I told you this before you even called him. Hey, the law states that you are allowed to bring in someone who works in the area to evaluate if there is an issue, to see if there is a leak. And then if they do identify a leak, we get an amount of time to be able to repair that leak. That's how it works. But that's not what you did. You called them out and said, turn it off, because I didn't allow you guys inside. This is not a part of the investigation because the investigator is right there. You never tried to let him in. You turned the power off first. You turned off the power and then had him turn off the water. So if you really wanted to get to the bottom of it, you would have knocked on the door, rung my doorbell like you did before. I have you on my Ring app. I have you recorded. If you wanted to get to the bottom of it, you would have rung my doorbell and you would have sent him inside.
This should stop the leak, though, right?
What leak? There is no leak.
You saw pictures of it. You saw
On his side. On his side.
So your neighbor,
On his side.
let me say this. Your neighbor doesn't have mold on his side,
That's on his side.
and it doesn't bother me at all.
It's not about bothering. It's not about bothering. Here's the question. Here's the question. Right. Here's the question. I hear you. You're saying that there are biohazard that exists. So you're saying there's a possibility of mold that may need to be remediated. Here's the question. Is he going to be moved out of his house tonight and for the mold in his house? No. Are you going to remove him from his house? Are you going to turn his water and his power off if there's an issue with the electricity? So I'm not asking if he's going to have to leave. I'm asking you, are you going to turn his utilities off?
he's probably gonna maybe not his electricity, because guess what? The water is leaking, actively leaking.
So why is my electricity off?
Might be wires or anything.
Why is my electricity off?
I'm not the
So,
expert.
right. So then why are you talking? Why are you the one making the judgment then?
So your power was secured because we were denied access to assess if your power was impacted.
Right. You as a police officer were denied access.
Fire marshal.
You as a police officer, you as a police fire marshal were denied access. However, and I also denied access to the fire department. Who did I tell you could access my property per the capability of the law? Right. The water access to access whether or not there's a leak, and that was the concern. The concern was not electrical. The concern was not whether or not the electric was a hazard. The concern was water, which is why my water is off.
Well, to be fair, your water's not turned off.
Dude, you turned off my water and my power. And if you're trying to access an electrical hazard, why would you take the power off and the electrical guy is gone? The electrical guy is gone. You haven't identified any issues on my side. A single one. You said the issue was a leak, and now you're saying it's power. Because the law states who can access the property. You can access the property if there are circumstances in which you believe someone is in imminent danger. You do not have those circumstances. This turning off the power to a house with 7 children in it is not you investigating. It's you taking an action and saying, so what? Let's see what he can do. This is not trying to resolve it. There's zero issues trying to resolve it because you did that. You sent power away and you kept water. So your concern of an electrical hazard doesn't make sense.
Because there's no power. Now there's not an electrical hazard.
Because now you're saying there's no electrical hazard, but why were you called out?
We abated the hazard.
Why were you called out? Why were you called out? You were called out for a leak. And so you made up something else and then tried to say that was the problem. You were called out for water. You were called out for water.
Get on the street.
You were called out for water, for a water leak. Yeah, I'm plenty far away from you, and this is public. We can't park here. I'm over 6 to 8 feet away from you. And now you're walking towards me. I'm nowhere near either one of you. The guy, you were called out here for water. You called out here for water, and you turned off electrical. You were called out here for water, and you turned off electrical. And this is what a police state looks like. This is what it looks like. Because now you're taking the opportunity to hide behind, oh, you don't understand. Oh, if we can piece it together good enough, we can do whatever we want. I can do whatever I want to as long as I make it sound good. And there's no evidence of a leak. I don't have the issue with my power. Why are my services terminated? So the issue is the power. The waterman is here. The person who says he has the issue is all the way over there. And there's a police officer inside the house. What are we investigating? What are we investigating? What are we investigating? The neighbor has a leak. What are we investigating? For a leak, man. You shut my power off in my house for a leak in the neighbor's basement.
Why are you looking at me like I
Because you chose to be the face of it.
No, I'm not.
You're the main one. You're the main one standing here. Dude, what question? No, answer the. What type of sense does it make?
I answered the question 3 times, and they also answered it.
And it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense to you.
No, it doesn't make sense to you because it's made up. And it's not legal.
Well, anyway, I'm just here to make sure everything goes.
It's not legal. It's like you're literally the leak police right now. We're here as the leak police. We're going to shut people down. We're going to turn off their power, put their children in the house with no AC, and let their food go bad for a leak. For a leak. I'm not, this is my property. This is my property, and this is public. This is the way you said when you parked your car here.
It's fine. Just don't come.
Yep, there's nothing wrong with my water. I don't have a leak. My bill for the number of people in my house is actually lower than my neighbors. I'm not cutting into anybody else's power. I'm not cutting into anybody else's service. I'm not in any way violating anybody else's rights. There's nothing wrong. There's no identifiable leak. You're 2 houses away from mine now. You're 2 houses down. You can't leave the meter off because the water is on legally. You cannot leave the meter off because you have not been in contact with anyone to tell you that it needs to be terminated. You have not spoken to the property owner to say in any way that we do not have a right to have that water on. If you leave that water off and you leave the power off, you are putting the people in that house in jeopardy who are legally residing in that property. We're legally residing in that property. We have a legal water bill. We have a legal power bill. All of that's legal.
The car is coming.
That's fine. The car has plenty of road. Thank you. You care about me getting hit by a car, care about my children burning up in there tonight, care about my food going bad. Now you're not concerned, right? You just care about whether or not I'm gonna get bumped by a car in a driveway. That you're concerned about. Have some concern about the children you're putting at risk. This is what I'm talking about, man. That's why I told you before when I told you you were making it personal because I didn't let you in. This isn't about whether or not there's an actual issue. It's about we didn't get our way. We're going to go heavy-handed. We're going to go heavy-handed because we didn't get our way. Guys come up with? What did you make up? What did you make up to turn off my services? What are we trying to make up? What are we trying to say is happening? That hasn't been happening forever, but now all of a sudden it is. What do we got? We got a busted drain pipe. We got a flood. We got an underground tornado. We have the water running in the wrong direction. What do we have, gentlemen? Just so y'all know, they're not out here. They're not out here because my water bill haven't been paid. They're not out here because my electricity bill hasn't been paid. They're out here because my neighbor has a leak. My neighbor has a leak. That's why they're out here. And they wanted to come into my property to see if there was a leak. And I told them it was unnecessary. I would allow somebody from the water company into my property about the leak. They weren't happy with allowing the person with the water into my property, so they turned off my power and water. The temperature stays above 80 degrees at night. The temperature hits 100 degrees during the day. And so because I did not allow them in, they decided to go with strong arm tactics and start turning off my services. Legally activated and current services. My services are activated legally. They are in my name. They are under my social. I've completed the appropriate agreements with the owner of the property. I have everything on record. And you have not received anything from the property owner to say terminate my services. Yet you say in the pursuit of an investigation, I'm going to leave your children and your pregnant wife at risk. If you have any information in regards to my water services, I need to know. That's not private, that's public information, especially for me as the resident of the household. So if you came out to investigate something with my water, you should be letting me know, right? Because it's my job to fix it. It's my job to, well, he's in my water. He's looking at my water. Right, no, but he's here at my house for my water. Is my water on?
No, sir, it's not.
Why is my water not on? Is it still leaking?
The neighbors is also off. We're going to go check in a minute to see if it's still leaking.
Are you kidding me right now? You have no evidence of a leak.
I absolutely have evidence of a leak.
You have no evidence of a leak besides you're saying that it's leaking. And I know it's not leaking.
I showed you video and photographs.
I know it's not leaking. You know how I know it's not leaking? Because I went in and looked at all of it. I've been from the front to the back.
Are you an engineer?
I've been to the front to the back.
Are you a fire?
Dude, stop trying to jump in like this, dude. Dude, you're not qualified for what you're talking about. But now I can't talk to him. I can't talk to the water guy. For what? He's the water guy. For what? Talking to the water guy? Hey, can I ask you a quick question? It's always the same one. It's always the Tom. I'm going to show how much police I am. Let me be the first one to go chase him. Let me go be the first one to go chase him. Okay, dude, then you don't need to be over here. I'm not, dude, he's a public, he's in the public. He's public, and I've done nothing to indicate that he's in any type of harm. You're just Tomming.
You want to talk to me?
I'm the registered payee of the services that you just terminated. I have a right to speak to you about why my services were turned off.
If you don't have to talk to him, you don't have to. You can.
Right, so I would ask that question to the fire marshal.
Were you instructed by fire marshals to terminate the services?
Not terminate the services. We're not terminating anybody's services. We just turn off the meter.
All right, so when you turn off the meter,